Hello, good morning students. Welcome back to the first lecture of Science of class 9th. Now in this lecture, we will discuss chapter number 5. That is the important chapter of biology, that is cell. So I think in previous standards, you might have studied about this cell and related to some chapters. But in this chapter, we will go some details for each and every parts of the chapter, each and every content of this chapter. So this chapter is all about the cell or fundamental unit of life. So as you know that each and every living organism has its own structure, or they are made from the smallest unit, and those smallest units are the basic structural and functional unit of those substances. Like example, if a construction of building has to be done, we need basically bricks for construction of walls, right? So these bricks is nothing but the smallest unit of that big structure, that is a building. So if these bricks will be not there, there will be no formation of this building or formation of walls. So in similar way, here we are dealing with the cell, means we are dealing with the living organisms. Okay, now in this living organism, first this term is cell. So this cell is the smallest unit of any structure, right? Means for any structure like building, as I told that the smallest unit is brick over here. For construction of building, we need a small unit of bricks. So these bricks are the smallest structural unit. Now why it is called as a functional unit? Because of these functional units, all these inside our body, this cell is the smallest structural and functional unit, because all the functions inside the cell is carried out with the help of these cells only. Okay, so they are the structural unit also, and as well as functional unit, because each and every unit in these cells performs its own function. So coming back to our basic concept, that is cell. So this cell, it is the structural and functional unit of life. You can say here it is the smallest. Okay, it is the smallest structural and functional unit of life. So this cell means a little room. Okay, cell means a little room. So this cell, first time it was observed by Robert Hooke in 1665, and he observed in onion peels or some other cells, and found the structure of these cells in the form of a small room-like structure. Okay, so he found as a room-like structure like this. Okay, so if you take the onion peel or some plant leaves and you take out a small thin pieces from its surface, and then you stain it and observe under microscope, you will find, we will come to this topic, so you will find a special structure inside that cell. So first time it was observed by the Robert Hooke in 1665, and he found these cells in the form of small rooms, and Robert Hooke absorbed these cells under his own designed microscope. So this cells looks like a honeycomb. You might have seen honeycomb. So honeycomb, it looks like a small bracket or a small structures like a small rooms. Okay. So honeycomb that consisted of many compartments, many small blocks. So he called those blocks as a cell. Now these all living things you can say Robert Hooke he first observed cell in 1665 by his own designed microscope, and found the structure like honeycomb compartment or like little room. Okay, like little room he found. So he also said that all the living organisms, they are composed of these cells, because this is the smallest unit of all the living organism. You know that cell is the smallest unit. Then large number of similar type of cells combines together to form tissue. Then tissue forms organ. Then organ forms organ system. Organ system forms a body. So this is the smallest part of a living organism. So all the living organisms are composed of cells. Okay. So if you now, just I am telling you one activity which is given also in your book. So you can find these cells if you see under the microscopes. Okay. So plant leaf or onion cell. So if you take a onion cell or onion and you take a small thin slices, a small pieces or slices of this onion, and this is a how to prepare a temporary slides. This is a slide, and you take a small thin layer of the onion and cut it properly and put it in the center of this. Okay, slide center. This slide is of glass. You might have seen this kind of slides while some SMC officers comes for checking in our schools also, for inspection or for checking that anyone has suffered from some malaria or some kind of, right? So this is a slide, it is made up of glass. So this onion cell we have taken on this slide, and we add either safranin or this iodine solution so that these cells can be properly stained, and you cover it with a cover slip. Cover slip is a very thin layer of a small this covered slip. Okay, so if you now observe under the microscope, you will find some structures like this. Right? So you will find some structures like this, and in the center of each cell you will find a dark spots. So these dark spots, each and every this compartment is called as cell, and this this is actually the onion cell, and if you observe you will find like this. So, and this dark one is known as nucleus. So nucleus is present in the center of the cell. Okay, in the similar way, if you take some plant leaf, you will also find some thing like this, and in center of this is actually filled with a liquid that is called as a cytoplasm. Okay, so this is actually cell, and this part you can call it as a plasma membrane. This is cell. Inside these are the liquids which are filled. So these jelly like liquids you can say. This is cytoplasm, and this dark spots which is present in the center of the cell is called as nucleus. Is it clear? Now if you observe a plant leaf also, you will find the same kind of this. So you will find over a nucleus, okay, and within this you will find a jelly like substance that is called as, this is for plant leaf. Okay, this is onion cell and this is plant leaf. So this is nucleus. Okay, you can call it as nucleus. This is, and here these liquids which are filled over here, they are called as a cytoplasm. Okay, this is called as a cytoplasm. So this cytoplasm is just like a jelly-like substance which is present in around this nucleus. So this cytoplasm is very important as it keeps the cells live. So we will see here that now what is this cell made up of. Okay. So what is this cell made up of? So the cell is made up of, every cell does its own functions, and like this, every cell does its own function, like exchange of gases. Okay, exchange of gases, then some other tasks like digestion, respiration, respiration. This is all followed by a kind of cell. Now, exchange of gases also takes place inside the body or outside the body with the help of these cells. Digestion is also digestion also happens with the help of the cells present in our digestive system. So that is a stomach. So a stomach is also made from a large number of cells. So all those cells performs their own task. Okay. Now coming to here, that there are the main component of these cells. So what are the main components? Main components of cell. First component is plasma membrane. Plasma membrane, or you can also call it as a cell membrane. Plasma membrane, or you can call it as cell membrane. Second one is nucleus. It is the most important part of the cell. So this is called as a nucleus. Second one is nucleus, and third one is cytoplasm. Just we told about the cytoplasm, we used that. What is this cytoplasm? So this cytoplasm is a jelly-like substance present in the cell. Okay, and this cytoplasm is important for keeping the cell live. Now, first of all, we will discuss about the cell membrane. What is this cell membrane? So each and every cell, as we had discussed here, that in case of onion cell, so this onion cell, there is a boundary, outer boundary. This outer boundary is nothing but a plasma membrane. Okay, so this plasma membrane is the outermost covering of each and every cells, which separates the cytoplasm from the external surrounding. Okay, so first we will discuss about this plasma membrane. So plasma membrane or cell membrane, then nucleus and cytoplasm. So first we will see about the first, it is plasma membrane. Plasma membrane. So this plasma membrane is the outermost plasma membrane is the outermost covering of cell, right? You can call it as a first point. It is the outermost covering of cell that separates the separates the cytoplasm from the external surrounding. That separates cytoplasm from the external surrounding. Like as I told, this so if it is cell, so this is cell and here it is cytoplasm and this is the outer covering. So this outer covering separates the cytoplasm from the external surroundings. Okay. Now, this plasma membrane, what is this plasma membrane made up of? So, this plasma membrane is actually made up of lipids and proteins. Lipids and proteins. This plasma membrane is very important for its own task. One important task, that this plasma membrane does not allow each and every substances to enter in and exit out from the cell. Means this plasma membrane or cell membrane is important for exit and entry of some substances. So this plasma membrane is also known as selectively permeable membrane. Okay. Next point you can write that this plasma membrane is also called as selectively permeable membrane, as it allows certain substances to enter or exit or come out from the cell. So in this out of the means this instead of come out, we can also write as a exit. Okay. So this plasma membrane is also called as selectively permeable membrane because it allows certain substances to enter or exit from the cell. So this is very important function of this plasma membrane. So this plasma membrane has also some more tasks, like this plasma membrane can be flexible. It is flexible. Okay. So this plasma membrane is as well flexible, and these can be also folded, can be ruptured, can be broken, folded, broken, and can be united. Means after broken they can be united, or you can write the term again united or reunited, and can be reunited. Suppose some plasma membrane breaks, so can be again reunited, can be repaired also if it is broken. So this is one important part of this cell. So I think you have understood this. Now coming to the nucleus, we will discuss about how this plasma membrane, as we have discussed that this through plasma membrane some substances enters or some substances comes out from the cell. So how does these substances come out and enter into the cell? So there is some special movement. So let's see. So there are some terms which are related with this exit and entry of these substances from outside to inside the cells or inside to outside the cells. So first of all, we can say that diffusion. Diffusion is a word diffusion. So diffusion means the movement of substance. You might have seen that the movement of water always takes place from higher level to the lower level. Suppose if a tank is there, and suppose we have taken here two tanks, one is at higher. So if it is connected with pipe, so the water can be transported from, means water will flow from this tank to this tank. Water flow. Water will not flow from this tank to this tank. It will not flow because it is in lower and it is in higher. Yes, obviously it can flow, but if there is some system. Okay, so you don't say that by the help of the tool pump, by the help of some other things, we can transport this water from lower level to the upper layer. Okay, obviously it can be done, but in cells it cannot be done. So here we will discuss that how this movement of these substances takes place inside the cell. So movement of substance from the high concentration level to the low concentration level always takes place. Okay, so diffusion, you can say it is the process of or movement of this substance, from high concentration to the low concentration. Okay, so diffusion means in chemistry we have studied about the intermixing of the gases. So here it is totally different in biology. So it is the process or the movement of substance from high concentration to the low concentration region. And there is also one second term which is used here. This is first one, this is the second one, that is osmosis. Osmosis is also the same thing, but here instead of substance we will use the term water. Okay, so this osmosis is also the movement of water from a high concentration region to the low concentration region. Okay, it is also the movement of water from high concentration to low concentration region. Okay, so this is all about the two terms which we have to know over here. Means through these two terms, diffusion and osmosis. Now you know within the plasma membrane gases also comes out from our body to internal environment. Like carbon dioxide, you know, So carbon dioxide comes our body from our body to environment, because the concentration of carbon dioxide in our body is more and it comes outside our body. So where there is less, means the concentration of this CO2 is more in our body and less in the environment. So it moves from high concentration region to the low concentration region. In similar way, entry of this oxygen also takes place through this plasma membrane with the help of the same system. Like outside the environment, means in our environment oxygen is more, means concentration of oxygen is more. Inside the body concentration of oxygen is less. So this movement of oxygen takes place from outside the body to inside the body, means from a higher concentration region to the lower concentration region. In this way, exchange of gases takes place in our body. If you read line by line in your book, you will find these terms, how this exchange of gases, means CO2 and O2, in our body takes place. Okay, so let us come to know about the osmosis. We did now, depending on these two categories or depending on osmosis, we have classified the solution, right? We have classified what happens when something is put into the sugar or something is put into the salt solution. Okay, so let's see. So what happens when when some cells are kept in sugar or salt solution? Okay, now what happens when some when some salts are kept in sugar or salt solution? So here we will discuss about the three solutions depending on the concentration of the cell and concentration of the medium. So here three types of solutions are there. Okay, first one is hypertonic, right? Hyper means less, tonic means having denser. Okay, hypertonic means hyper means less, tonic means denser. Now what happens in this hypertonic solution? So concentration of the solution, right, outside the cell, concentration of the solution outside the cell, concentration of the solution outside the cell is less than the concentration of the cell inside, or less than inside the less than inside the cell. You can also write is less than inside the cell. Okay, means concentration of the solution outside the cell is less than inside the cell. So if you take out your book and read on page number it is 60, you will find this type of, if the surrounding medium of the cell has a higher concentration than the cell, means the outside solution is very dilute and cell inside the cell is very concentrated. Okay, so this is all about the, now we will come to know one by one of this hypertonic, isotonic and hypotonic just by the figure also. Okay, so this is all about the hypertonic solution. So due to this hypertonic solution, what will happen? The cell will lose water and shrink. So cell will lose water and shrink. Why it happens? Because cell will lose the water and it will shrink, because this water always passes, means this always passes from high concentration region to the low concentration region. So inside the cell, the concentration of the cell is more than the surrounding medium. So cell will lose water and moving towards the solution. Okay, so this is hypertonic solution. Now second one is the isotonic solution. So what is now isotonic solution? Isotonic solution means the cell has the same concentration to that of the solution, means both are having equal concentration. Second one is isotonic solution. So in isotonic solution, both the cell and solution both have the same concentration. Okay, you can also say in other words that if the medium has exactly the same concentration to that of the cell, so if the medium has exactly the same concentration of the cell, it is called isotonic solution. So in this solution, the movement of the water or movement of water does not take place, because both has the same concentration. So here there is equal, means in this the cell gain equal amount of water and water which is lost. Okay, so you can say the concentration of cell will remain same, because whatever is lost, the same is gained. Okay, so you can write here lost water by cell is equal to gained water by cell from the medium. Okay, so whatever is water is lost by the cell, the same amount of water is gained by the cell from the medium. So concentration of both this cell and the medium remains constant. Okay, so third one is hypotonic solution. Third one is hypotonic solution. Let's see what is this hypotonic solution. Now in this hypotonic solution, concentration of solution outside the cell is more. Third one is hypotonic solution. So you can say the concentration of the solution outside the cell, concentration of the solution outside the cell is greater than the inside the cell. Concentration of the solution outside the cell is greater than inside the cell. So this is all about the hypotonic solution. What I mean to say here, concentration of solution outside the cell is greater than inside the cell. Means concentration in the medium in which the cell is kept, concentration of medium will be higher than the concentration of the cell. Got it? Now we can observe this here, that by a similar, just by putting one activity for just your convenience and for your understanding, that so we can take here that we are having this apparatus, cell is kept inside it. Okay, so first one was the hypertonic. Okay, so from this figure it is hypertonic. So from this figure you can see that the concentration of the cell is more than the surrounding medium. So it is hypertonic. Second one, it is, this is the cell. Now concentration of this second one, it is found that concentration of both cell and medium is equal. Cell and medium is equal. So it is isotonic solution. So this is, you can see, this is the cell medium, cell concentration, right? And this is the medium concentration. So you can say that the cell concentration has the same concentration to that of the medium concentration. Means both the solutions in this, concentration of cell and concentration of the medium is same, equal. So this is isotonic solution. Here you can say concentration of medium is very much less than concentration of the cell. Okay, this is hypertonic. Now third one is the hypertonic. So for this hypertonic, we can take this as a, okay, now this is, okay, this is concentration of cell. Now concentration of outside the medium is more than this. Okay, so you can say concentration of medium is very less than that of the, means concentration of the cell is very less than that of the medium. So this is a hypotonic solution. Hypotonic solution, this is hypertonic. So I think this types of solution means based on this passage through the plasma membrane is here. So they have been classified in 3 categories depending on the concentration of the solution, that where this solution, where the concentration will flow. It will flow from the cell towards the medium or from medium towards the cell. Okay, so I hope from this diagram you might have understood. Okay, now you can put this here, whatever we have put as we can put the egg or resins. So if you put the resins, you will find over here. So if you put the resins in low concentration in medium, high concentration is the resin. So you will find that the resin means it will lose water. So if you can put the resin and you try to make experiment at your home, so you will be very easily understand. Okay, you put the same solutions as, okay, as I have mentioned over here. So through this activity you can do and perform a better experiment. You will understand from these activities. Okay, then after cell wall, you know, apart from the plasma membrane is present in both. So there is one additional layer in animal cell. So that is called as a cell wall. So let's see about the cell wall. So you prepare this chapter because this chapter is going to be asked in your exam also, and based on these exam point of view, it is very asked in plasma membrane questions. Most oftenly it is asked, why is plasma membrane called selective permeable membrane? It is most important questions asked in exam. So next one is cell wall. Okay, so what is this cell wall now? Now, as I told, this cell wall is one additional layer present in plant. So this is not present in animal. Okay, cell wall is the outermost covering of the plant, additional layer after plasma membrane or cell membrane. So you can say here that it is the outermost layer in plants. Okay, very easy points you have to mention. It is the outermost layer in plants. So second, you can say, as I told, this is not present in plants. This is present in plants. This is not present in animal cells. So you can say that it is absent in animal cell. Okay, so it's very, you can just note it down one by one. Third one, you can say that this outer part of the plant you might have seen. So outer part of the plant, it is very hard, which is brownish in layer. Okay, sometimes it loses water. Okay, sometimes it loses water, and you might have seen it is very hard and rough in nature. So that is losing of this water is called as plasmolysis. Okay, so it is absent in animal cell. Okay, now it is, you can write here, it is rigid and very tough. It is rigid and very tough in nature. Okay, you can also say that it is porous because fine pores are present. It is very rigid. It is rigid, very tough, porous. You can write porous, and is non-living structure. This is a non-living structure because you might have seen sometimes we cut the outer part of the plant. So after cutting the outer part of the plant does not die. It means the plant can survive without it. This provides the mechanical strength for extending the plant. So very tough, porous and non-living structure. So you can say that the cell wall is a non-living structure. Okay. Fourth point, you can say most important point, it is asked what is cell wall made up of? What is cell wall made up of? So you can say cell wall is made up of cellulose. So you can add the fourth point, cell wall is made up of cellulose. Okay, cell wall is made up of cellulose. So this cell wall of two or more cells may be joined to each other by layer of lamellae. This point you are not getting, I know. So layer of lamellae means, suppose this is a cell wall and this is another cell wall. So here these are joined, these two cells are joined. So there is a yellowish layer like a structure over here. So these layers are called as lamellae. This is called as a lamellae. So these two, just I'm rubbing it. Okay, so you can say cell wall of two cells, cell wall of two cells are joined by the, as I told, that is called lamellae, joined by the layers of the lamellae, joined by the layers of lamellae. Okay, so you understood that lot of, now here also the second, this part can be, so here it is a yellowish in nature, yellowish like substance are there, so that is joined by each other, that is this part, this structure will be called as a lamellae. Okay, so here we are completing till this cell wall, but let's also discuss about the function of the cell wall. Function of the cell wall. Now let's see function of the cell wall. Function of the cell wall. First, function of the cell wall, it provides a definite shape to the plant. It provides definite shape to the plants. Okay, definite shape. If this would be not present, the shape may be irregular type. The shape, the plant may be very thick and like structures. So each and every plant's shape is determined by this cell wall. Second, you can say that it provides the mechanical strength to the plant. Okay, you can say provides a strength to the plants. This can be due to this reason, whenever a strong winds blow, these plants does not break very easily. Okay, due to this reason, because it provides a mechanical, very mechanical strength or strength to the plant. So it provides a strength to the plant. Now the third important points in the function of this, that it is permeable and allow substance of different sizes. Okay, so it is also permeable, it is also permeable and allows different sizes of the materials, allows substance of different sizes. Yeah, it is also permeable and allows different sizes of substance. Okay, so fourth one, you can say that what is this cell wall? We have discussed already in the cell wall. What is cell wall made up of? So you can say it is made up of cellulose. Okay, so let's come back to this fourth point. It provides definite shape to the plants. Okay, provides a strength to the plants. Due to these, plants does not break very easily. It is also permeable, means it is also permeable and allows different sizes of substance to enter. It is made up of cellulose. So here we are completing till cell wall. In the next lecture we will see the organelles of the cells. Okay, till then you stay home, stay safe and keep learning. Have a nice day. Thank you.